purpose of this video is to discuss the array commands. In a couple of the different exercises, which I have on the screen right now, for the first couple of weeks, we had to use the array command, and the version was a little bit older than the current version that those original videos were created in, so I just want to give you a little bit of information on how to use this. For these two objects, we have a polar array that we're going to be using in this instance, and a rectangular array that we're going to be using in this instance. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one first, and we have 8 items that are around a 360-degree path for this particular one. One thing that it is important to note, to get this one correctly, if you don't still have the circle that was used when you created the dodecagon, you're going to want to make sure that your O-snaps are set up so that you have a midpoint set up as well. So I'm going to come in here to the settings for my O-snaps, and to get to that I just right click down here on the tray and go to settings. So object snap, I can see that I have midpoint, and I want to make sure that I have polar tracking on. That way when I go to line up with the midpoint, I can get it. First thing I'm going to do is click on polar array and select this object. After I select this object, it's going to ask me to pick the center point of the array. So I'm going to hover over this midpoint, hover over this midpoint, and then left click at the intersection of the two. As soon as I click my center point, it's going to give me this dialog box up here. In this dialog box I can set up all of the different parameters for this. In this case, it's already set up for 360 degrees. All I need to do is change that to 8. Once I have that changed to 8, it automatically updates the angle between, and everything else is just going to be irrelevant because this is for rows and columns and stuff when all I'm doing is a polar type array. So once I have that, I can just click on close array. So that's my polar array. For my rectangular array, I just come in here and select rectangular array and the object. Once I hit enter, it gives me all of this information on here. You can edit everything over here, or you can just use the dialog box that you have. In this case, I have 6 columns because there are 6 holes, and there is 20 millimeters between each of them. I'm sorry, there's 7 holes with 20 between each of them. So 7 and 20 is all I need for that piece. Now, I need to modify my rows. In rows, I only need 1. So once I put that in, I can now see that I have 7 columns with 20 millimeters between it, which gives me a total of 120. I have 1 row. The distance between and the total is irrelevant because I only have 1. So once I have that in place, I can just hit close array, and that's how we're going to accomplish the array for this exercise and the array for this particular exercise.